All right, we are back for a bonus edition of Making Picks. This is for the Alabama-Ohio State NCAA Championship. Mark, how are you doing? We're back at it for another early morning session with, right before the game.
Hey, look, you know what? It seems like we're doing a couple of these things, but there's a lot going on. So I would be completely remiss if we didn't take at least a couple of minutes and talk about the national championship game from a college football perspective. By far, I don't think there's any particular dispute about it here. This has been the strangest, weirdest college football season in the history of the sport. I'm not sure if you can kind of dispute that or disagree with it. A lot of, crazy things taking place here. I mean, you got a freaking team that's only played 7 games in the national championship
Mm-hmm.
game. But again, it's Ohio State. I don't think you can really knock or dispute their reputation going up against like another, powerhouse, which is kind of like, Alabama. So you can say about what you want about the college football season. At the end of the day, your national championship game is between two powerhouse teams that a lot of people would have potentially projected anyway had all things been normal or had we been living in,
Mm-hmm.
I guess, not necessarily a pandemic or the end of the world, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these guys are consistent. Like they make it to this level. If it's not Alabama or Ohio State, maybe throwing Clemson in there. Um, I mean, people were talking about Notre Dame being able to make it, but unfortunately they didn't. So it's you know it it's not surprising. It's not like something came out of left field and we're sitting here going like, oh boy, this is going to be different. I mean, Alabama, Ohio State, whether it's 2020, 2021, or 2015, like it it's a common matchup for this championship game.
Yeah. So let's see here. I guess unless you have anything like really interesting that you wanted to touch upon, I got a couple of key notes here that I just have kind of like
Yeah, go
as
for
part
it.
of like most shows that I think it's kind of like worth sharing, just as a kind of like quick FYI. Now, I mean, national championship game, you can kind of like throw a lot of these things kind of like out the window, but I think it makes sense and they are relevant and they do kind of tie into the story right now here. Of course, BCS, bowl series and things like that. Not necessarily a big track record of success for Ohio State. However, they're coming off a fairly impressive win against kind of like Clemson. Overall, Alabama Crimson Tide is 7-1 against the spread in their last kind of like 9 against Big Ten teams. Buckeyes are 1-4 against the spread in their last 5, following a big against the spread kind of win. And all in all, here, regardless of how you kind of like I guess bake the cake, let the cookie crumble here. The overall over is 4-0 in the
Mhm.
Crimson Tide's last 4 bowl championship games. So I thought those were kind of like
Yeah.
important little tidbits that I want to kind of stick in there. Not necessarily a lot of bulletin board material leading into this game, like it potentially did with Dabo Swinney and Clemson, pumping up Ohio State, basically
Mhm.
go ahead and saying that, hey, it didn't deserve to be there. In fact, at the time, Swinney had Ohio State ranked 11th in the coaches poll, which I know kind of fired them up here. But hey, ho hum stuff here. I'm reading an exact quote here from Ohio State coach Ryan Day. The goal was to never just beat Clemson. The goal was to win a national championship. While it was an emotional win, that wasn't the goal. The goal was to win this one,
Mhm.
referring to this particular game. And it's going to be disappointing if we don't play well in this upcoming national championship game. Alabama, complete like different story. I mean, you don't really need a lot of build up to talk about Alabama leaving this game. I mean, what else do you actually need to know? You have the quarterback who was a finalist in the Heisman Trophy watch. Their star wide receiver is projected to be, potentially a top 6, maybe even like a top 5 pick in the upcoming NFL draft.
Mhm.
And Smith. So, I mean, Smith, 105 catches this year, 1,640 total yards with 20 touchdowns in a shortened college season, which is pretty freaking impressive. Keep in mind, he's playing in the SEC. This is not,
Mhm.
the MEAC division or whatever kind of whack division that you're talking about. You're going up against like, big teams. So, look, it's the last game of the season.
Yep.
Championship game. Let's kind of like get to it. Unless there's anything else that you think that should be added as a build up to the championship game taking place down at Hard Rock Stadium, Miami, kind of area. Kickoff is probably slated for about 8:05 tonight.
Yeah, no, the only thing
ESPN.
is I rarely bet against Nick Saban. Him, Belichick, those are my
Smart.
two coaches that they will get it done, and they don't need a lot of pomp and circumstance to come in and end your season. So with that, Mark, why don't you let everyone know how they play statement games? Where do they go? What do they do?
Guys, this is a free-to-play game. I'm actually coming to the table. Anybody who's a member of Statement Games or is willing to kind of check Statement Games out for the first time, it's just a game, a little bit of a different twist on fantasy football. What we do is we're presenting you with a list of anywhere between 50 to 55 different game and player prop statements that are specific to the championship game. It's your job to review the list, pick 10 of them, rank them in order of confidence from 10 through 1. You'll play in leagues of anywhere between 8 to 12 people. Of course, you're going to get points for picks that become correct that you actually make. And the person with the most points at the end of this championship game will be the winner. Technically, you'll be the winner if you're finishing first, second, or third in a contest you actually play in. You'll be rewarded with coins. Your job is to build up a bank account full of coins. And when you're ready, you exchange them for a cash reward of your choice. So anybody who's playing this game, checking out Statement Games for the first time, or if you remember the Statement Games here, if you go 10 for 10 with your picks and refer to friends within the platform for this special occasion championship game here, I will come to the table and personally give you $100 worth of Statement Games cash, which can be redeemed for Amazon, Nike, over 85 particular merchants that you can actually choose from. So think of it as another little free little scratch off, little free lottery ticket. Yeah, it's hard to go 10 for 10, but as we've proven on this show and on other podcasts that I've done with IDP guys, this is something that happens quite frequently. So you got to be in it to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. So for those people that may be catching this for the first time, this is a small portion of a larger show and obviously a bonus section where we talk about statement games, news in sports gambling, as well as entrepreneurship. But part of that is with these banking picks episodes, we give our own picks and we keep track of them. And 2021 has been bad to me. It's something about that dividing line. I was doing really good, and then 2021 hit, and it just hasn't been the same. And some people have been coming after me for that. Mark, what do you have to say about people coming for me?
You just got to understand one thing here, whether you're coming after me, you're coming after like my partner, or the actual platform in terms of trying to rack up coins and win our cash. I mean, this is kind of our cash here that we're funding this whole reward section with here, which obviously, hey, we don't want to give it up, but hey, if you're messing with us, not only are you messing with us, you're messing with
All right, there we go. Let's get into the
definitely got to
making
continue that
picks.
song like a little bit,
Yeah, all right.
We'll see, but we're
I'll
working
get
on
that.
it. People got to
Yep.
realize that we're testing a lot of different things out, and I think we're really comfortable with the format and the program that we're putting together. But hey, we're always looking to improve and get things better. I'll just shut up, make that notes, and we'll go from there. But anyway, coming to this
Yep.
game here, we'll touch upon what we did last week in the upcoming episode of Making Picks. But as a quick FYI, and I'm not necessarily accounting or taking anything that we've done up until this point into account, meaning any of the picks that we made in last week's episode aren't calculated in these totals as of yet. With that in mind, you're looking at Mark picking over the prop picks at about 83.3%, which is just fucking phenomenal if you go ahead and ask me. On your end, you're kind of in the 33.3% range, but this is a bonus section, new opportunity to beef up those numbers and go from there. So let's see what you want to do here. You want to kick us off? Or you want me to go first?
Go first, Mark.
Okay. So this is what I'm actually thinking leading up to this game here. Of course, you have two pretty good teams that can put up some points here. But this is really just sticking out at me here. And I understand that there's a good track record of, these championship games going over from a Alabama perspective. But this looks like a freaking college basketball game to me. So it's just too big I'm getting a lot of points, so I'm going to take the total points total of 76.5 as an under pick as my top pick, or one of my three kind of top picks for this game here. It's just a scary number to me. I mean,
Hmm.
it's a lot of freaking points. I mean, you're basically kind of asking both teams to score close to 40 points in this matchup. So all I need is a couple of freaking defensive stops, maybe
Hmm.
a stalled fourth down conversion or a couple turnovers here, and I'm looking golden here. So I'm feeling pretty good about 76.5 as an under.
Nice, nice. There you go. Okay, so for mine, I am so while yes, 76.5 is a lot of points, I do not think that Alabama will have trouble getting up into the 40s in this game. They have a superb offense, they have a great defense, and I think that they can both score a lot of points and hold Ohio State. So I'm actually going Alabama for the over on 42.5 points.
Okay, it's a big nut. 42 and a half is a lot here. But if you're liking points here, hey, I had him in the Rose Bowl when we kind of did our Rose Bowl making picks bonus section here. So I don't know about you, but when somebody delivers for you, you go
Mhm.
right back to them. You give them the ball
Yep.
here. You don't turn your back on them. I mean, maybe some other people on other particular shows here hedge the bets and totally kind of abandoned the guys who have gotten to this particular point here. So because I took the Heisman Trophy winner um, in the Rose Bowl, I'm not sure what the line was. It was probably close to 80, 85 here. It's probably bumped up like a little bit for the championship game here, but
Mhm.
give me Devonta Smith over 90.5 receiving yards.
There it is.
Going
Okay.
right back to the well.
Nice, nice. All right. So to go along with what I had prior, with Alabama going over the 42.5, I will also say that Alabama will keep Ohio State behind by more than 7.5 points.
Okay.
What do you got?
Then for my last pick, look, I just don't know the full details of the status of the Ohio State quarterback, health here. I mean, that was a pretty freaking big hit that he took in that Clemson game here. I know that they've been kind of hiding and not necessarily disclosing his full health picture, nor should they. I mean, I think we'll all find
Mhm.
out what the status of Fields, really is. I don't know, maybe like a couple of maybe like 30 to 45 minutes leading up to the game time here. So just because I'm not even sure if he could potentially finish this game, and I don't believe that he's 100% here. And even if he is, I'm not sure how effective that he would actually be in the passing game, being that Alabama could put up like a lot of points here, and you have an Alabama defense that could potentially be, teeing off and just literally teeing off and unloading on a quarterback that they know has to throw the ball in order to keep pace with this game here. So I'll take the Justin Fields under 2.5 TD passes as my third pick.
All righty. And to go along the theme of quarterbacks, I'm looking here at Mac Jones, and I think that Alabama can put up points, as I've said before, and I think if that's going to happen, there's going to be a lot of completions on the quarterback. So I think 29.5 isn't a lot of completions to have to get over, and I think he can do it. Mac Jones over 29.5 completions to round out our statements. So with that, if you're playing in this contest and you see Nathan Ryder, that is you're playing against Statement Games Live. I think very soon we'll probably be setting up an account for Statement Games Live itself so that you can definitely see it, and there might be some prizes in the future for that. Um, but we're you're playing against us. We're trying to get as many statements correct as possible, and I gotta bounce back, man. I can't have you throwing this 33%, especially after 2020. There was some good
I'm just stating
nothing
facts,
burgers
man.
on your
I'm
side.
just
So
I'm just stating facts. I mean, you can say that you're upset with facts, but facts are
yeah,
facts.
I gotta put up. I gotta put up. That's the only way to get someone to shut up is to prove them wrong. So I
I'm
gotta.
not sure how well a certain person did last week in the Washington Football Club versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game. But you know what? We'll touch upon that a little
We'll
bit,
touch
kind of like
upon
later.
that.
I'm not sure how much of a positive effect that last
Yeah.
segment that we actually did is going to improve your points total numbers here. But hey, different story for a different day, and that
Hey,
day
we
is
got a
coming,
couple
my friend.
days. We got a couple days before we gotta you know, the meet the piper on that one. So make sure that you're following at Statement Games on all social media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel where you're watching this video, and play Statement Games. All right, Mark. Well, it's we got a few hours left until the game starts, and I don't know about you, but I will definitely be watching it and looking to kind of come back from the deficit of picks.
We'll see. And also, everybody, give the show a thumbs up here. Let's support the platform, help us out here. I mean, basically, the way that we have the ability to come to the table with um, opportunities to win cash, win prizes, and things like that through your support, your interaction here. So, the more that we can kind of get you guys commenting on, giving us feedback on what you like here, helping us out here, and trust me, this stuff that you potentially do, it might seem meaningless or minuscule to the general people that are out there. Maybe not necessarily involved in putting together like shows like this here, but on behalf of Nathan and I, in doing so, it means a lot. So
Mhm.
for those who are interacting with us, we really appreciate it and hope you continue doing what you're doing, and we'll do our best to put together shows and put together little games and contests that give you the ability to come to the table with absolutely nothing, but have a chance to win something. It's the
Yeah,
best way that I can put it.
absolutely. All right, Mark. We'll
All right,
see you for
catch you in a
the
couple
next
days.
episode. Yep.